classic egg custard consists of eggs, milk and cream, sugar and flavouring. The mixture is usually thickened or gelled through the heating of egg proteins. This process is called coagulation. Examples of egg custards include creme caramels, creme brulees and creme anglaise. Many other products have custard base as well though. For instance, pumpkin pie filling, pecan pie filling, bread and butter pudding, pastry cream, quiches and the like. A properly cooked custard product is a moist, tender gel or a smooth, creamy sauce. The thickening and gelling occurs over time as the temperature of the mixture increases and in turn coagulates the eggs. Okay, so let's relate this coagulation theory to something that we might know. Let's take the example of creme anglaise. So here we have the ingredients for creme anglaise, fairly standard: egg yolks, sugar, milk and sometimes a little bit of cream in a vanilla pod. So in this production process we beat the egg yolks and the sugar together. It's important not to leave the sugar on the egg yolks too long, otherwise they could have a bit of a reaction with them and chemically burn the yolks. So in the production of a creme anglaise, one of the first processes is to warm up the milk or the cream mixture to infuse it and to slowly temper the egg yolk mixture with a little bit of this warm liquid. It's very important because then what we do is we return the mixture back to the pot to cook it out. This is where the beginning of the coagulation process begins. It's very important to note that during this cooking out process we can't allow the mixture to exceed 85 degrees. What's actually happening here is as it warms up, the egg proteins are starting to join together, and that's what creates the thickness which we associate with creme anglaise. Now, one of the problems with preparing a product like creme anglaise is if we continue to overheat it, as you can see in the clip. Let's see what happens if we overcook the sauce. Those proteins can continue to strengthen. As they strengthen, what actually happens is they tighten and eventually they squeeze the liquid within the protein out. And if you look here in the clip, what you actually see is small chunks and quite a watery liquid surrounding it. This is an example of overcoagulation, or syneresis as it's often known as, or simply curdling. So now we're going to have a look at producing a custard using whole eggs. With the creme anglaise, we've made a custard using egg yolks. Because egg yolks contain less protein than egg whites, they produce a softer result. So in the clip here, what we're actually doing is we're producing a lemon tart filling. So a lemon tart filling has whole eggs in it, sugar, cream and lemon juice. Now the lemon juice actually reduces down the strength of the proteins and prevents the coagulation happening at a faster rate. So what we're actually doing here is we're just warming up the mixture ever so gently, and we're going to prepare this in a slightly different way than what we did for instance like a creme brulee or some other baked custard. What we actually do is we prepare this custard by cooking it in a flan case. Often custards are baked in bain-maries, which are small earthenware dishes that are placed into some water in a metal container in the oven and slowly cooked, and that just helps regulate that temperature. So here we are making the custard. So this is like a citrus based custard. Just moving a little bit of the froth there from the top of the custard just to help with the presentation of the final dish. So just taking that off, and then what's going to happen now is that's going to be placed into the tart in the oven. So again, it's cooked at 120 degrees, and that just helps to slow down that cooking process and to ensure that we don't over cook those proteins and end up with a scrambled egg tasting mixture. What we want to do is by the time it's cooked, for it just to wobble, and see we're testing it in the oven there, it's slightly set around the outside and the eggs are just starting to coagulate and warm through to the middle, and now it's cooked. See, the wobble has actually stopped, and again in this production process the lecturer has gone around and removed the excess pastry from the top, and now the product is ready to be portioned. Obviously it will need to be chilled first. Probably a couple of hours in the fridge would be recommended. Hot wet knife and cutting through the tart as such, each time cleaning the blade to help the presentation aspect of the dish. And what you'll notice here is that the actual custard will be quite firm, but still have a softness about it due to the level of acidity. Now, the reason that it's holding together is because of the proportion of egg white or whole egg in the recipe. If you made this with egg yolks, as in the case of a creme anglaise or creme brulee, it simply wouldn't hold itself together. So that's two examples of how egg coagulation occurs within pastry. Important things to remember here is that trying not to exceed those temperatures of 85 degrees in which the eggs will over-coagulate and in turn scramble, or syneresis being the technical term for it, and the amount of and the type of egg, whole egg creating a firmer texture and egg yolk creating a softer texture.